Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial on how to use Microsoft Excel on the phone. For the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to use a Samsung Galaxy S6, but the interface is the same across all other devices. When you look below, you can see there are three different buttons here. We have the recent button, the shared button, the open button. Now with the recent button, it shows us the recent workbooks we have worked on or we are currently working on. So if say I was working on a worksheet or a workbook and I just want to go back to it, I just simply tap on the name of the workbook here and then it takes me directly to it. Now with the shared button, it deals with you sharing workbooks that you've shared with somebody and workbooks that people have shared with you. When somebody shares a workbook with you, this is where it's going to appear. Yes, in Microsoft Excel, you actually have the feature of sharing a workbook with somebody else. Sorry, and somebody sharing a workbook with you as well. Now, in the open button, it entails the recent, the shared with me, and other features. Now, with the other features, we have the OneDrive, which is a cloud storage where I store all my personal documents, because that way I don't necessarily need to carry my device everywhere I go. I can simply access my document from any other device anywhere that has internet connection. However, if you want to save your workbook on this particular device or on the device you are working with, you just click on this device and then you choose where you want to save it, either in documents, downloads, or storage. I prefer that if I even want to save it on this particular device, I'd save it in the document aspect. However, if you have any other cloud storage, like I do have OneDrive, and I think that is okay. If you have another cloud storage you want to save your things to, it's no problem. You can simply add them here and then you move on. With the browse, you can browse through other Google Drives or cloud storages and then fetch workbooks you want to work on or save workbooks you want there. Very well. Now moving on. In Microsoft Excel, there are so many templates you can actually work with. As you can see, we have a blank workbook. Welcome to Excel, make a list, total a list. It's so many, so forth. But then you can actually choose one and then customize it to suit your interest. However, I advise you actually start with a blank workbook so you know how to customize things to suit your own interest. Customize a spreadsheet to suit your interest and benefit. In the left hand corner, you can see a rectangular box with OneDrive and then there is personal. Now, this is actually where you store the current worksheet you are going to work on. This particular worksheet, I just want to save it on my device, so I just select this device and then document. Do you want to save it? Should you want to save it anyway, just go to select a different location and then you do that. However, I just want to save it on this device and in my document because it's a tutorial and I would want to work with it. Like I said, we are going to learn how to use a blank workbook. So we are going to tap on the blank workbook and then familiarize ourselves with the interface of that. So there we go. Yes. All right. In Microsoft Excel, there are so many buttons as we can see here. We are going to take the buttons one after the other and learn of their benefit and what they are used for. But before that, we need to learn a couple of things like a cell and a range, because those are very important things. In Microsoft Excel, when I talk of a cell, it simply means the intersection between a row and a column is what we call a cell. So the intersection between a row and a column is a cell. Now, when I talk of a column, it is the lettered aspect, the A, B, C, D. So this part is a column. Very well. And this highlighted aspect is a row. Yes. So like I said, every particular cell has a name. Every cell has a name, and the name starts from the column begins and then the row follows and it gives it its name. So this particular cell is called A1 because it's the intersection between A and 1. This particular cell is called E4 because it is the intersection between E and 4. This cell is called H6, so on and so forth. So when I talk of a cell, I believe now we can relate with what a cell is. Now, a cell is an intersection between a row and a column. However, a range is a group of cells. So now we are talking about range. A group of cells is what we call a range. Just like any other cell, this is what we call a range. Just like a cell has a name, every range has a name as well. However, the range's name starts from the left top corner to the right bottom corner. So for example, this range starts from A1 and ends at D6. So the name of this particular range is A1 through D6. A1 through D6. However, in Excel, through is denoted by a column. So let's take note of that as well. All right, now let's deal with the various buttons here. Sorry, let's go through. All right, now in Excel, there are so many. This is a book. This is the name of this particular workbook. It's titled Book 1. However, I don't want to use this. I want to rename it to Tutorial so that anytime I want to open it, I know what I'm opening. So this is Tutorial. And I just need to press Done. And that is it. It becomes the name of it. As you can see, you can change the name of the workbook, which I just did. Now, this is the show commands button. This is the show command button. Should I press this, a lot of commands are going to pop up. We have the home, insert, draw, formula, data, review, view. We'll come to this in a minute, but for now, let's focus on the interface we are seeing now. Now, the next button, the second button, is the find button. Should we want to find anything, we simply have to just tap on it and then come and type whatever we want to find and just press the search button, and there we go. We'll get what we want to find. Now, the third button is the share button. The third button is the share button, where you want to share your worksheet with someone through WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, whichever one you want to use. The fourth button actually is the undo button. So let's just type a couple of random words in this cell and then click on this. As you can see, we have a couple of words in here, but should we click on this, it simply goes off. That is the undo button. Nice. Now, for the fifth, yes, the fifth button, it gives us a couple of drop downs with a couple of commands. We have the save as the print, and then the setting, which we'll get to in a couple of minutes. Now, this is the insert function, which we'll be working with a lot. So let's take note of that. This particular button is called the sheet button. Should we press on it, it gives us the sheet. This is sheet 1. Should I press on this addition sign, it will give me a couple of other sheets. Like I said, Excel works in sheets. This is one sheet, this is another sheet, this is a third sheet, and sheets can be linked together. We'll get to that a bit later, but for now, let's just work with them. So as you can see, when you press on this, it keeps giving you different sheets, and it goes on and on and on and on. All right, so let's return to sheet 1. We can undo, as I said earlier, so we can keep on doing till we have what we had before. Now, there you go. All right, so we just have one sheet now. Good. Now, when we press on this button, the sheets button close, and it gives us other buttons we can work with. Now, this is the tell me what you want to do button. It's a very useful tool in Microsoft Excel. For example, if I want to merge and center, I know for now you might not be familiar with merge and center, but we'll get to that later. However, I just want to use it for this example. If I want to merge and center, I simply type merge and center, and it just appears. I click on it, and what I want to do will appear. We'll get to more of this later, so don't bother so much about it. All right, this is the fill color button. Should I press on it and I want to change the color of the background? This is currently white. If I want it to be black, I just tap on black, and as you can see, it is changed. If I want it to be yellow, I just tap on it, and as you can see, it is changed. I can even select a range and change the background color for the whole range, just like you can see. However, this time I would want to go with the white because that's what I'm going to work with anyway. So, all right, so let's just undo this. Yeah, and then we have our worksheet back. Now, this is the apply filter button, which we are not going to use for now. We are going to use, but then as we move on, I'll explain better what a fill apply button is, this is the expand selection. So for example, if I select this particular cell and I want the whole an entirety of the column to be selected, I just click on this and then the entire column is selected. There you go. If I want it to cut across, it just works like that. So the entire selection, if I want to select a couple of these, that's basically what it's used for. All right, so for now we have familiarized ourselves with the first interface of Microsoft Excel on a phone, and we'll move on to other features in our next tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe or retweet. Thank you.